Welcome, everybody. I want to welcome you here today for Veterans Day ceremony. First and foremost, let's begin today by recognizing all those among us who have served our great nation in the armed forces, and those who are serving now in our United States military. Veterans Memorial Pointe is now 20 years old. We've had 20 years of Veterans Day ceremonies out here, in the rain, snow, cold, and even on some nice days as well. In all that time, we never missed a ceremony out here, ever. The memorial was an idea 20 years ago that turned out to be reality. Some of you that are out here today was there at the first. So that means that you're 20 years older, just like me. Just to let you know. So there's a lot that I can say about Veterans Day, how it came to be, and also how I became a veteran. But I will leave that to our guest speakers to talk about their experiences and what have you. But what I would like to tell you about is these two memorial stones in front of the podium. And there's these stones that are in front of the podium are of two local boys that were killed while serving our country. One was Corporal Walter B. Howard II, U.S. Army 9th Infantry Division, 4th Division, killed in Iraq 2006. The second one was Sergeant James Collins, Jr., United States Marine Corps. He was with the 303 Military Police, killed in action in Iraq 2007. There's a lady that thought enough about these two guys to make sure that they were remembered. And this lady is Ruth Shaw, a Rochester Hills resident. And she took the time to research these two fellows out, paid for the stones to be cut, also to have two benches with their name. It's going to be in front of the benches in a memorial type area out here at the park. This is to honor them and also their family, and hopefully maybe their family's out here today. I don't know for sure, but she went ahead and did this, and as well as every year she puts out these roses. I wish she was here so I could introduce her to all of you, but she's out of town right now. And I just got to tell you, she loves the veterans, and she also loves this memorial park, and she's done so many things out here, it's unbelievable. And I just want to tell you, she's just a wonderful person, and God bless Ruth. So I'd like to call the order, and we're going to have the raising of the flag. Okay, we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance, if you would join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ho. And the singing of National Anthem by Carly Gordon. And she did such a good job last year at Memorial Day that we asked her to come back again.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proud stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. Okay, Mayor Brian Barnett will not be here today. He had some other engagements going on. So we're proud to have Council President Mark Tisdale out here to speak for us today.
Thank you, Ed. Good morning. On behalf of Mayor Barnett, the City Council, and the 75,000 residents of the City of Rochester Hills, I'd like to welcome you to Veterans Memorial Pointe as we commemorate and recognize our veterans. As Ed said, today marks the 20th anniversary of this park. What was once just a vision among a select few dedicated veterans here in Rochester Hills and the greater Rochester area is now an important gathering point and landmark monument in our community. We take great pride in honoring our veterans in this community, and it's been said we often take for granted those things that most deserve our gratitude. Today and every day, our American veterans deserve our gratitude. Our community has much to remember and much to be proud of, for we have long answered our nation's call to arms, representing every generation and every conflict from the Civil War to Operation Iraqi Freedom. And with that in mind, I'd like to tell you a quick story. Adam Malson graduated from Rochester High School in 1999 and attended Michigan State University as an ROTC cadet. There he met another ROTC cadet, Lindsay. After graduating from MSU with a 3.97 grade point average, Adam and his wife, Lindsay, went active duty in the United States Army as second lieutenants. Lieutenant Adam Malson was assigned to the 4th Battalion, 31st Infantry Regiment, Fort Drum, New York, and was selected to join the Rangers, an elite Army force. Adam was sent to Iraq on June 1st, 2004. In early 2005, Lieutenant Malson's company was assigned to provide security for more than a quarter of Baghdad's polling places during that year's volatile Iraqi elections. Now, not everyone in Iraq was fond of the idea of free elections. A series of suicide bombings occurred in Baghdad, and at least 90 people were killed and scores more injured. Seeing an injured Iraqi woman on the roadside, with her arms raised and begging for help, Lieutenant Adam Malson and his translator jumped out of their armored vehicle and raced to the woman's side. Seconds later, a suicide bomber ignited his vest, killing the translator and Lieutenant Malson. We in Rochester Hills just held an election on Tuesday. No one was injured. No one was killed. We're frequently reminded that we must honor those who have fought and died for our right to vote. Lieutenant Adam Malson died for someone else's right to vote on the other side of the world. And so we ask ourselves, where do these young men and women like Lieutenant Adam Malson come from? Rochester Hills, Michigan, the United States of America. That's one of those places. So as we leave this ceremony today, I urge you to take a moment to read the bricks that line this beautiful park. Each brick tells a story of a real flesh and blood hero who sacrificed for our nation and our country and speaks of their heroism, patriotism, and courage. May God bless you and your families, and may God continue to bless the United States of America. Thank you. It's my great pleasure to introduce and call up a friend and a great servant for this community for many years, Congressman Mike Bishop.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. As is right, each year we set aside a day to honor the men and women from all walks of life who have served our country in uniform. Soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines have paid the price with their own lives so that you and we can continue to enjoy our freedom. We have not and will never forget the men and women who fought to protect that right. It is also fitting that we take this time to honor and thank America's men and women who are currently serving our country all around the world today. As a member of the United States Congress, I have seen firsthand that our military is and will continue to be the most feared and respected fighting force for peace in the world. But we cannot take that for granted. We take defense of this country very seriously. And what we do know is that a well-trained, well-equipped, and well-resourced military helps ensure peace both overseas and right here at home. It is therefore up to every American to support our nation's heroes, whether they serve in our battlefield today or have returned home to be with us. I want to assure you that as long as I serve in the United States Congress, I will continue to fight for American soldiers to ensure that the federal government lives up to its promises to our veterans. It's the very least that I can do, and I am profoundly honored to have the opportunity to do it. Every Veterans Day, I'm reminded of Ronald Reagan, who once said, "Above all, we realize that no arsenal or no weapon in the arsenal of the world is so formidable as the will and moral courage of free men and women. It is a weapon our adversaries in today's world do not have." It is in that spirit that I offer my heartfelt thank you and appreciation to our fellow Americans, our United States veterans, for your service, for your sacrifice to God and country, and your selfless commitment to the principles of freedom, all of which we cherish. This Veterans Day, we honor you, and we thank you. May God bless you, may God bless your families, and may God bless the United States of America.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, at this time, we're going to have the Veterans Commanders come up. The American Legion Commander, Dave Black, if you would step forward.
Over the years, our American military veterans joined up for a number of reasons. Back in the draft, a number didn't even have a big choice, but they went. Lots of others joined for patriotism, job training, adventure, travel, etc. But by and large, Wherever they came from in America, black, white, men and women, they all came to be directed to goals, which led to the ultimate goal, the defense and protection of America. They were told, you will work together to complete the mission, to get the job done. You were told the job to do and who you served with. If you liked these people, great. If you didn't, tough. You will all work together. I remember back in the 50s and 60s, a good percentage of the Congress and Senate were veterans of World War II and Korea. They were Republicans, Democrats as of today. They ran the gauntlet of liberal to conservative, but for the most part, there seemed to be more respect and civility in their disputes. These people were veterans, and for all their differences, they realized that they were sent there to Washington or the state and local capitals to carry out a mission, a goal to help the people who sent them there, and for the greater goal of all Americans, the greater good of all Americans. I see the young men and women in our military today and cannot feel but the greatest admiration and respect. How does America keep on bringing them forth? I know America's newest veterans will carry these traditions forward in all their endeavors. God bless America, and God bless our veterans. Thank you.
Disabled American Veterans, Chapter 129, Commander Randy Whitmer.
Thank you very much. It's cold out here, isn't it? I'm Randy Whitmire. I'm the commander of Disabled American Veterans Chapter 129. I'm also coincidentally the president of the Air Force Association, Michigan. And today is not a somber occasion, but rather it's a day of gladness, celebration, remembrance, and reflection. And certainly giving our heartfelt thanks for all of our freedoms and liberties as citizens of the greatest nation on earth. Those freedoms and liberties, of course, are not free at all. They were never free. But achieve them we did through the tremendous deeds and sacrifices of our forefather veterans some 241 years ago. And the conservation of those freedoms and liberties has continued down through the ages, through wars, conflicts, and skirmishes. Those same threads of valor and courage run through our brave men and women in uniform today who have served and who continue to serve a grateful nation. Whether active duty, National Guard, Air Guard, or reserves, these veterans are men and women who so selflessly step up and routinely put themselves in harm's way, time and time again, to protect and defend the ideals, traditions, values, and way of life that we've all come to know and cherish, and sometimes take for granted. They're men and women just like you and me, men and women who, for the most part, for one reason or another, chose to serve in uniform, doing whatever it takes to get the job done while protecting and defending these United States. Your presence here today, paying homage to our men and women in uniform for their service and sacrifices, warms my heart beyond words. Because it's cold, of course. Your presence here today also warms the hearts of my disabled American veterans, which I represent. And your presence here today also warms the hearts of all my military comrades in arms, no matter where they may be, as we celebrate this special day honoring our nation's veterans. I salute each of you for showing up here today, for your precious patriotism and dedication, and being here. God bless each of you, and God bless the United States of America.
Veterans of Foreign War, Post 3908, Commander Tom Burns.
for my family of veterans. Saying thank you isn't enough. You may not have been shot at every single day, but you served. You may not have been wounded, but you served. You may not have earned a Medal of Honor or a Distinguished Service Cross or even a Silver Star, but you served. You served your country at a time when your country needed you. You know, it seems so many people today just don't understand or appreciate just what that means. You do, because you served. You saw so many things that the everyday person back home shouldn't have to see. You saw things that you didn't want to see. You saw things that are still with you today. You fought our adversaries, along with the bugs, the snakes, the heat and humidity, the monsoon, and the snow. You fought the unseen battles of homesickness, mental fatigue, and concern for your buddy next to you. You understand the real meaning of real fear. You served. You see, it doesn't matter if you were a cook, a clerk, or you were in combat, or peacetime, or stateside. You are a part of the largest fraternity and sorority in the world because you served. You served, and you served proudly. You made your family proud. You made your country proud. We are a grateful nation. We honor you today because you gave and you made sacrifices. Although you may not want it, you are different. You are special. You have a special kind of love and respect for Old Glory. And we get more than just a little upset when we see people abuse her. You have the kind of respect that gives you goosebumps when our national anthem is played. A special kind of respect that maybe puts a lump in your throat, or maybe even a tear when you hear someone sing God Bless America. And it's because you served. You have a silent moment when Taps is played. Saying thank you isn't enough. On behalf of the Rochester Utica VFW Post 3908, God bless you and thank you.
I'd like to just stop for a second, and I'd like those protesters right there, come up front. Right there, with the signs. You! It says veteran signs. Bring them up, bring them up. These are the kind of protesters I like. They brought out cookies, and they brought these signs out. And this lady right here, her father served in the Navy during World War II, and they took the time to come out here today. And I can't thank you enough for that. And also, we got the Knights of Columbus up here. I want to thank you fellas. And then in the background, which they normally are, is our Oakland County Sheriffs and our Fire Department. They watch over us 24/7. And we definitely want to thank them as well. Okay, we're going to have a prayer given by our chaplain from Post 3908. Good friend of mine, Herb Mann.
Thanks, Ed.
Thank you all for being here. My pleasure. I'll try to keep it short. I have two prayer poems. I favor myself to be somewhat of a bad poet. First one's called Veterans Day Prayer 2017. All gave some, but some gave all. God cradle the veteran souls that have answered the call. Freedom is not free, the veterans all say. May we never forget those whom we honor this day. From farms and factories, and from cities and towns, they stood up for freedom and never kneeled down. Many return home, but too many do not. God give them your peace, for which they all fought. They are Catholic and Muslim, and Protestant and Jew, Republicans and Democrats, and Independents too. They gave all their tomorrows for all our indulgent todays. Lord, tell them we thank them with these words that we pray. And we thank you, Lord, for giving us the patriots who stand up and stand tall, for all will give some, and some will give all. That's the first one. Thank you. At this time, we're going to lay the wreath. My second attempt is called American's Patriot Prayer, dedicated to Mr. Collins and Mr. Howard here, names on the stone. I am the edge of freedom's sword. I am the tip of liberty's spear. I liberate the oppressed, and I am what every terrorist fears. I am an American patriot. Please pray for me today. I fight for your right to speak your mind in all languages humans can say. Whether you pray to Jesus or to Allah, the Great Spirit or Jehovah, or to Buddha or the stars, or some mystical supernova, pray for me today as I suffer, bleed, and strive. I am an American patriot, keeping human rights alive. I do not seek the spoils of war, nor ask that you kiss my ring. I am not here to steal your oil, nor lands, not a bloody thing. What I ask of you, a simple request, a gesture most sincere. Pause a moment in your bounteous life and give to me a prayer. Pray for me, that's all I ask. As I move forward to the fight, kiss your child, hug your spouse, sleep peacefully tonight. Know that I am serving you, pressing forward in harm's way, drawing comfort from the thought that you prayed for me today. God bless you all.
Okay, we're going to have the lowering of the flag. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Okay, honor guard. Give us our 21 gun salute. We honored all who served our nation today, and all I can say is God bless America and what we have. I want to thank everybody for showing up today and showing their respects to the veterans. Thank you. Have a nice day.